Good day, everyone. You are welcome to class today. And this is ESM 101 Piano. My name is Emmanuel Edet Adwak. So today on ESM 101 Piano, we will be looking at lesson 6. I hope you will enjoy today's class. So lesson 6, we have intervals and ledger lines. Intervals and ledger lines. So at the end of this class, we should be able to define intervals and ledger lines. You should be able to explain types of intervals. You should be able to identify the intervals that exist between notes. And you should be able to describe the position of the middle C on all staves. So let's look at intervals and ledger lines. So what is an interval? An interval is a distance in pitch between two notes. When the two notes sound simultaneously, we refer to it as a harmonic interval, and when they sound one after the other, we refer to it as melodic interval. So, and we can see the examples being given there. When they are sounded together simultaneously, harmonic interval, and one after the other, we have melodic interval. So before we go into intervals in details, we have to discuss the concept of semitones and tones, half step and whole step. Now, a semitone is the smallest interval you can have in music. A semitone can be referred to as half step, while a tone is made up of two semitones, and the tone is also sometimes referred to as whole step. This is very important. So semitones are called half step, while a tone is a whole step. When you look at the dummy piano, the dummy keyboard you have on the screen, we have C and D. Now, between C and D, there is a black key, which is C sharp or D flat. Now, before we move from C and D, there are certain steps we have to take. Now we are looking at just C and D, moving from C to D. Now, before we get to D, we will first of all move from C to C sharp. And that is what we call half step, because it's just the closest or the shortest distance. So now, to get to D now, we have to move from C sharp to D. So if you are now asked how many semitones do we have from C to D, there are two semitones. That is, from C, you get to C sharp, which is one semitone, that's half step. Then from C sharp to D, which is another half step. So two semitones are involved. And that two semitones, we have been told that two semitones make a tone. So the distance between C to D is a tone. Now, if you look at E to F, you can find out that there is no black key in between. So it's just straightforward, just a semitone distance. E to F is semitone distance. If you look at B to C here, there is no black in between. It's just a straight distance, small distance. So B to C is a semitone distance. Now, if you move from F, going to F sharp, which is the black key in front of F. So from F to F sharp is a semitone because it's just an half step. So you have to understand the concept of tones and semitones. This is important. Now look at it. Now from C to that's D flat or C sharp is a semitone. Then from C to D is a tone, what I explained earlier on. Then semitones occur between B and C, E and F, then from the white key to the black key closest to it. Those are semitones. Now let's look at the interval qualities and labeling. There are 5 different interval qualities. We have the perfect interval, we have the major interval, minor interval, augmented interval, diminished interval. Now, for the perfect interval, it deals with the unison, fourth, fifth, and octave. All these are called perfect intervals. Then for the major or minor interval, it could be second, third, sixth, and seventh. So now let's look at the C major scales we have there. The first one, our perfect unison, is our perfect unison. We find out that the notes are the same. Then we have our major second. We have the major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, perfect octave. Then also we have minor, which we have perfect unison, major second, minor third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, minor sixth, minor seventh, perfect octave. Now, the variation occurs between the second, third, fifth, and seventh. Every other one is a perfect interval. So these are the types of interval you can have. So below is an example of the perfect fifth, diminished fifth, and augmented fifth, and a major and minor third. So perfect fifth, this is an example of perfect fifth. This is an example of diminished fifth. So if you count lines and spaces from the first note, which is C, you find out that that is the fifth. The note up is the fifth. So you have one, middle C line 1, then the space that follows 2, the line, first line of treble staff 3, the space that follows 4, then the second line making 5. Now that's the perfect fifth. The second one, diminished fifth. If it is flattened, we have a diminished fifth. If it is sharpened, we have an augmented fifth. Then we have the major and we have the minor third. So these are examples of. Now, we want to relate all these positions to the piano and know how many semitones or tones are involved. Now, the first one, which is a minor second, we have A, middle C and D flat. This is middle C, this is D flat. On the dummy keyboard, we have middle C, D flat. You find out that it is one semitone that is that we have there, one semitone. So it's a minor second. So minor second has one semitone. So major second has two semitones. So for example, there we have C and D. So this is C, this is D. So we move from C to C sharp. That's our one semitone, that's a semitone, that's half step. Then from C sharp to D, that's another half step. Combined together, we have two semitones there. So a major second has two semitones. So a minor third, we have um, middle C and E flat. So this is middle C and this is E flat. Now, E flat is the second black key there. So we have one from C to C sharp, which is one semitone, from C sharp to D, which is two semitones, from D to D sharp is the third semitone. So, and that D sharp is also called E flat. So we have three semitones in a minor third. So we can go on and on and on like that. So you should understand the number of semitones or tones that we are expected to have in each type of the intervals that are given, that you may be given. This is very important. So you can do the rest. You can always replay the video. Don't forget to check the elements for other information for the files and other things. So intervals could be in simple intervals or compound intervals. An interval that is an octave, that is within an octave, is a simple interval. Then an interval where we have notes larger than an octave is a compound interval. So these are examples of simple intervals. You can find out that they are within the 8 notes. Now, then for compound interval, they are outside the 8 notes. So these are examples. You should identify them when you come across any of them. Now let's look at ledger lines. What are ledger lines? Ledger lines are short lines used in musical notation to write notes that would otherwise be too high or too low to be put on any of the 5 lines on the staff. So when we want to elongate or extend the staff, we will need short lines. And these lines are used to indicate notes that are too high or too low. Notes that the pitch is not within the confines of the 5 lines and 4 spaces. It could be very high or very low. So additional lines are called ledger lines. Then the concept of middle C, the first ledger line below the treble staff is called middle C. The first ledger line above the bass staff is called middle C. Joining the two staffs together, treble staff and bass staff, we have the grand staff. So we have the imaginary line in the grand staff called middle C. This is what we treated last week. Then in the alto staff, line 3 is our middle C. In the tenor staff, line 4 is our middle C. This is also very important. Then on the piano, our C4 is our middle C on the piano. So I hope you enjoyed the class, and I want you to go over this video again and again, then check the elements for other informations. Don't forget to look at the quiz for the week. So thank you very much.